Coming up on Network Africa, Senegal's President Macky Sall says he would stand down on the 2nd of April. The World Health Organization calls for more international attention to the crisis in Sudan. Plus, President Alassane Ouattara of Côte d'Ivoire pardons prisoners jailed for election violence. Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin in Senegal. President Macky Sall has said he will stand down in April, and that's the end of his term as expected. And this is dousing fears that he was planning to extend his term amid a political crisis in the country. However, he did not give a new date for the presidential election that was originally scheduled for Sunday, 25th February. Mr. Sall, who is wrapping up 2 terms in office and who has said he would not run again, postponed the election till December, citing unresolved disputes over who could run. However, his move was struck down by Senegal's constitutional court as illegal. Well, presently, it's unclear who would be leading the country after Mr. Sall's mandate expires and before the elections are completed. Mr. Sall said he is certain there would not be a void. He also says he would consider freeing his rivals, that's including opposition figure Ousmane Sonko, whose detention led to nationwide protests last year. President Alassane Ouattara of Côte d'Ivoire has pardoned 51 prisoners who had been jailed for committing violence and crimes against state security during the country's 2010 post-electoral crisis. The West African country was plunged into violence after incumbent President Laurent Gbagbo refused to cede power to Mr. Ouattara, whom the electoral body had declared the winner of a disputed runoff poll. A report by Human Rights Watch said during that crisis that lasted from November 2010 to April 2011, over 3,000 people were killed and over 150 women sexually abused. The pardoned offenders include General Bruno Dogboble, who was a top military official under Mr. Gbagbo. He led the elite Republican Guard, which was accused of committing several of the killings. Officials say the gesture of pardoning these offenders is part of President Ouattara's commitment to work resolutely to consolidate peace in the country. The World Health Organization says Sudan is witnessing a humanitarian catastrophe and that it's not receiving much international media attention. Director General of the WHO, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, said this during a press conference in Geneva, adding that if the world turns a blind eye to the suffering in Sudan, many more people will die. He also addressed the cholera outbreak currently ravaging southern Africa.
Sudan, while not receiving much international media attention, is witnessing a humanitarian catastrophe. More than 10 months of conflict have had a deadly impact on the lives, livelihoods, and health of the people. Over 6 million people have been displaced internally, and nearly 2 million people have gone to neighboring countries. This is the largest displacement of people in the world. Half the population needs humanitarian aid, but partners cannot reach most of them. Already more than 14,000 people have been killed, and if the world turns a blind eye to the suffering in Sudan, many more will die. WHO is scaling up on the ground efforts to deliver health emergency response, respond to disease outbreaks, sustain disease surveillance, and provide life-saving medical supplies and equipment. After years of progress against cholera, the deadly disease has come roaring back in 30 countries, spurred on by conflict, poverty, the climate crisis, and global socio-economic inequality. Along with Sudan, the countries with the most concerning outbreaks right now include Ethiopia, Haiti, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. In October 2022, the International Coordinating Group that manages the emergency stockpile of cholera vaccines suspended the standard 2-dose vaccination regime in favor of a single dose only in response to outbreaks to stretch supplies. Despite this extreme measure, at the start of this year, the stockpile was empty. 0 doses are left, while 15 countries are reporting active outbreaks.
The owners of a bar in South Africa where 21 teenagers died during a party in 2022 have each been ordered to pay a fine or spend 100 days in prison, or the couple were found guilty of selling alcohol to under 18-year-olds. Their deaths in the Eastern Cape province caused an outrage and brought renewed calls for the legal drinking age to be increased. A toxicology report reveals that they had died from suffocation due to overcrowding. It also emerged that traces of the poisonous chemical, methanol, were found in their bodies. However, a formal inquest is yet to take place. Well, still in South Africa, SAGE's most recent small business big opportunity report found that 78% of small businesses in South Africa reported an increase in their productivity compared to 68% in 2022. However, the ongoing and deteriorating energy crisis, the knock-on effects of geopolitical tensions abroad, and the cost of living crisis put a damper on these positive prospects, and funding remains a challenge for SMEs, especially for women in business. Well, our South Africa correspondent, Innocent Samosa, brings us more details in this report.
South African entrepreneurs seeking financing to kickstart or grow their ventures often find themselves facing closed doors from banks and venture capital firms. I had a chat with the Minister of Small Business Development here in South Africa, Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams, and I asked her, why are business creditors not fully supportive and skeptical about funding small and medium enterprises? And what is her department doing to help small businesses? And this is what she had to say.
To deal with the issue of access to finance. For example, our own government here in South Africa took a conscious decision that business must be given to women 40% of it. That's by government now, to say all of us on our procurement policies, we should strive to ensure that we meet the 40%. And the president has been vocal on that, and we are held accountable when we don't meet those targets. The second issue is that, for example, from our side, as the department responsible for development of small businesses, that must also make sure that it provides this financing through the DFI from CIFA.
Some commentators feel that banks are falling short in making funding accessible to small businesses.
In the context of the capitalist economy, where the banks actually are in charge, the current democracy in the world is managed and manipulated by the banks. And the banks manage every system in their favor, in their interest. The banks are there to make money. You would have seen that even amidst the COVID pandemic, the banks continue to make a lot of money, and they actually continue to pay obscene bonuses to the senior managers. So the banks are out there to make money.
I would say there's still a long way to go. I wouldn't say the battle is far from over, but there's still a long way that we need to go. But at the center of this route that we have to take is a closer collaboration between women-owned businesses and the ecosystem they are operating in.
Government says business owners need to prepare for any eventuality, keeping budgets lean, innovate, adopt emerging technology, and prioritize adaptability. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Innocent Samosa, Channels Television News.
The International Monetary Fund, IMF, is urging vigilance on monetary policy globally and says the job is not yet done when it comes to keeping inflation in check, despite some weakening in key economies. This comes as Tunisia is seeking to secure financial help from the IMF. It named its new central bank governor last week and has indicated that the country will be modifying its reform program. Julie Kozak, the communications director at IMF, says the fund remains a strong partner with Tunisia and will continue to support the authorities in their reform efforts.
Because inflation has been coming down, but it's not yet at target or close enough to target, our line or our view remains the same, which is the job is not yet done on monetary policy. We are urging central banks to guard against a premature easing of monetary policy. And yet, where underlying inflation and inflation expectations are clearly and decisively moving toward target consistent levels, some adjustments of monetary policy may be warranted. The IMF does remain a strong partner with Tunisia and will continue to support the authorities in their reform efforts. Should the authorities express interest in a program, we stand ready to engage with them.
In order to get things right in Nigeria, political power needs to be vested on individuals based on competence, character and talent rather than wealth or social class. Well, this is the view of internationally recognized neurosurgeon Professor Olawale Sulaiman. He believes in the face of economic hardship, there's great need for the people to put words into action by demanding accountability from office holders.
We are fundamentally put a round peg in a triangular hole. So meritocracy is something that we don't understand anymore. It has become, it's my turn, it's your turn, it's our turn, it's my people needs to be there. Let's go back to meritocracy where you put a round peg in a round hole. And then you have to decentralize power. There's no way the Minister of Health in Abuja will understand what's going on in Ogun State or in Imo State or in Anambra State. Decentralize it, make sure you empower the state, local government, and the communities to be able to drive things. The people, and lastly, the people must demand good quality healthcare. The people. There's no leader without the people's support. Our people are too complacent. There should be a way that the people can complain. And I want to encourage all the elites. You know, we can all stay in a corner and think we'll just create our own cocoon. But this is our country. All the youth forms 70% of this country. I told some people the other day, say, look, if there are 100 of you and you have the plan to jackpot out of this country, only 5 of you will succeed. It means 95 of you will still remain in this country. This is what you still have. So you need to engage. I wanted to do it just if I had want to show that you can be in the government office and do the right thing. And maybe then doing the right thing by me would then peer influence and get other people to get back on track. So that's why I do it. I mean, I think it was a good learning experience for me. I learned why Nigeria doesn't work. And I learned that democracy is hard when most of the population is uneducated, when there is profound poverty, and the politicians have managed to weaponize poverty.
To catch the full interview with Professor Olawale Sulaiman, do watch Diaspora Network on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Still to come on the program. On our Africa Tech segment, we meet with a young Nigerian tech innovator with many creations that might just blow your mind. You don't want to miss it. Please stay with us. Welcome back and welcome to our Africa Tech segment. The Lagos State government is matching words with action on its relocation plan for Computer Village to Katangwa in Abulegba area of the state. The Special Advisor on Electronic Geographic Information System, Mr. Olajide Babatunde, visited Computer Village to educate the traders on the reason for relocation. He says Ikeja is a residential area which must be sustained, and Katangwa was chosen because of the good road network where business will thrive.
It's the first visit of the Special Advisor on Electronic Geographic Information System to Computer Village, Ikeja. He's accompanied by the General Manager of the Lagos State Building Control Agency, Mr. Gbala Onwoki, to inform the people of the relocation of Computer Village to Katangwa, Nabulegba area of the state. The government insists that Ikeja is a residential area and must be restructured back to its original architecture plan.
This is what used to be a beautiful residential area. The state has not changed the use. It is still a residential area. You understand that we must continue to ensure that we obey the laws. If the rule says this place is residential, then it must remain residential. So we have to make we have to make provision and also accommodate our people who are in this area, and that is the reason why we are moving them to Katangwa.
Katangwa has been designated by the State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development as the new trading area big enough to occupy large number of traders with necessary facilities. The special advisor, who was also speaking in his office, says no one will be deprived of earning daily income.
No, the relocation has been there for a number of years. You know, the plan, there's been a plan by government to relocate Computer Village to Katangwa, ensure that we're not going to be having transportation, traffic problem or traffic management issues. The expanse of land is such that when you drive in, you know, as traders, people who are doing deliveries, or even people who have come there to do one thing or the other in terms of shopping, will actually be lost in that space. It's quite a huge piece of land. It's not something that was not well thought of. It's within the model city plan for the area.
The Lagos State government says there's no going back on urban regeneration of the model city plan that will be suitable for all.
Leslie John Jumbo is an embedded systems developer from Rivers State here in Nigeria, and he is also an innovator with many creations, from AirClicks, which looks like a handband that can give telepathic powers, to Highware, a gesture controls device that allows you to control your computer mouse with hand gestures. Well, Leslie's love for innovation pushes him to constantly design and build systems. Here's more in this next report.
It's Zayn here. So my team and I made a device that helps you control your computer using hand gestures. Let's see how it works.
Meet Leslie John Jumbo, a passionate embedded systems developer and an aspiring robotics engineer.
So my team and I made a device that helps reduce carbon emissions.
He is also an 18-year-old in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, breaking barriers in the world of technology.
I've always wanted to build cool tech gadgets since I was a kid, so I always played around with batteries, DC motors, alongside magnets. It's been a huge dream for me since I was a kid, alongside my friends, who actually turned teammates or workmates. Seeing things I think of come to life is just heartwarming for me.
Leslie's journey into the realm of hardware wasn't a walk in the park. For him, and like many others, hardware is hard, but that very challenge piqued his curiosity. Through networking and then a tech bootcamp, he kick-started his career with a dynamic team.
As someone who has always wanted to be a hardware developer, I wanted to see such people around me too, but everyone in my community were into software, probably because there was no space for hardware learning, So I went to an event where I met the startup founder. His name is Richard Sodiye-Pepo, the founder of Technoville Innovations Nigeria. And he bought the idea. He bought the idea of, making this bootcamp where we could learn robotics, AI, and IoT. So I met my friends there. We started to learn, but on a very basic level. So after the whole bootcamp, we went ahead to learn more on the internet. We became really close friends and workmates too. It's your plan to be able to speak with you. Let's check it out. I call it the vase. The vase has audio capabilities which helps the plants communicate to a human. Let's check it out.
You don't touch me. Plus, I need some water.
With divine creativity as their guide, Leslie and his team have created numerous solutions, with each one a testament to their dedication and grit.
Sometimes it's from everyday experience, and sometimes my friends and I brainstorm, but I believe more of that is from God. So some of the projects I've worked on with my team includes the highwear. The highwear is a smart pair of shoes that count your steps, track your location, as well as measure your weight. The weight measurement feature wasn't actually so accurate, but we're still, looking to see how we can make that better. We also have a device called the AirClicks. The AirClicks is a device that controls your computer using gestures. We made a first version and a second version. We also made a device recently called the Vase. The Vase is a smart plant vase that makes your plant to communicate with you through audio. So it could tell you if it needs water or if it needs sunlight. It could also tell you the pH level of the soil. Another project we built is the Reforest AI. It was actually a hackathon project, but it actually went so well that we want to further develop it. So what it does is it tracks to see if trees have been cut down or not and reports to the database whatever it's seeing. It uses solar panels too. It uses a MPU 6050 to track the orientation of trees and measure the vibration of trees to see if they've been cut down or they're being cut down currently. To many people, it sounds very impractical, but we really want to see this come to life, and we really want to learn more.
In the world of technology where every circuit tells a story, Leslie John Jumbo's journey is one of passion, perseverance, and promise. And by facing challenges head-on and early enough, he is shaping his future in technology.
Well, let's head now to the 3.0 Verse Summit 2024, the Africa edition, where experts share valuable insights on digital asset, blockchain, and crypto.
Click here.
As more people jump on the cryptocurrency and blockchain bandwagon, it appears Nigeria is leading the charge in Africa. Nigeria's rapid growth in the digital asset market highlights the country's potential as a critical player in the global crypto ecosystem.
Thank you.
And at the 3.0 Verse Summit Africa edition, it's all about giving everyday individuals and businesses the tools and knowledge they need to sail through the world of digital assets successfully. But it's not just about Nigeria. It's about Africa stepping into the spotlight of the global crypto stage. The digital asset market in the country and the entire continent is skyrocketing, making Africa a key player.
The investors who understand markets, who understand forecast, are looking towards Africa with a lot of expectation, because blockchain crypto is making Africa look important again as far as the global outlook is concerned. But it has not always been so.
By embracing digital assets and decentralized finance, also known as DeFi, individuals can have more control over their finances, be part of a decentralized economy, and protect themselves from inflation, which is the crypto dream.
Cryptocurrency is the most important innovation of the 21st century. And why do I say so? Cryptocurrency, for the first time, gives you the power of freedom, the power of ownership. And you can become a contributor and a participator in a shared economy. And this is what we all really want to see. Prosperity for everyone. There is no barrier to entry.
More individuals and businesses are waking up to the perks of decentralized finance and blockchain tech. And the result is a soaring demand for user-friendly platforms.
Statistics shows that in the entire Web3 workforce, we have just 12% of women in the Web3 workforce. And in this tiny percent, this tiny 12% of women, you find just about 25% of them that you can find in teams. That's like working like in specific leadership roles in the Web3 space. And I believe that there are so many other women that are like me who, from the moment you tell them about blockchain, they already think that it's something really technical. But then again, we're able to show women that there's so much they can do in the Web3 space, that even their normal skills that they have in the Web2 space, they can bring it here.
What we've been able to see is in areas like research, in areas like software development, in areas like content creations, of course also in areas like trading digital assets. These are some of the places, record keeping, land registry, and all that. These are some of the use cases that we've not been able to touch or take advantage of. Luckily for us, there's a national blockchain strategy. The national blockchain strategy enables or empowers an individual, businesses, public or private sector players to take advantage of the technology, infuse it into their day-to-day business. And when they infuse it into their day-to-day business, it makes life super easy and making Nigeria compliant in the area of emerging tech.
Nigeria is riding high on the digital wave, and the country's increasing prominence in the world of digital assets shows her potential as she journeys towards financial empowerment and digital innovation.
And that's it on the program for today and for the week. Thank you so much for always being a part of it. I'm Layo Olarinde. Have a great weekend.